Welcome to the Money Watch Show. It's Sunday, April 13th. Mark, there are some people listening who are going to have a very bad day today, don't you think?
Bad day? Why?
Well, they're going to have a bad day because it is 2 days before the tax filing deadline and 2 days left to file your taxes. And some of our listeners may be those people. I know.
I would be shocked.
I don't know. I think there are two kinds of people who wait till the bitter end. I think they're the folks who are like completely procrastinating types. But I also think there's folks who are like, oh, I know I owe money. I can't deal. Right. So anyway, whatever camp you fall into, it is really time to get your butt in gear. And so we thought we would talk a little bit about the best way to get there. So, I think, Mark, it's a funny thing. When I was talking about taxes recently on, I can't remember where I was. I think it was on one of the shows on the third hour. I was trying to explain to one of our anchors about tax brackets. And it was funny because she didn't really understand this. So, oh, by the way, hello, this is the Money Watch Show, and I'm Jill Schlesinger, and he's Mark Talercio, and we're taking the mystery out of your financial life. And we are going like very, very meat and potatoes taxes. And so I had to explain like, hey, yeah, the tax code's broken up into 7 brackets. I can't believe how many smart people don't realize this, that we have brackets around income levels and they range from 10% to 37%. And each chunk of money within each bracket gets taxed at a different rate. That is what is called a progressive tax system, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's hard for people to, when they say like, oh, I'm in the blankety blank tax bracket. No, you're not. I mean, you are if you've tried to figure out your effective tax rate, like actually how much of your money is are you paying in taxes relative to your income? But there's all sorts of stuff that gets lopped off the top, right? So, the first question is, do you file as a standard filer or claiming the itemized deductions? Standard lowers your income by a fixed amount. Itemized is made up of a list of eligible expenses like charitable donations, state and local taxes, home mortgage interest. You tally up all those eligible expenses. And if those expenses are bigger than the standard amount, you file as an itemizer. Otherwise, you use the standard deduction. But the most magical part of the tax code, I think, are these tax credits. Those reduce your tax bill dollar for dollar. Dollar for dollar, ladies and gentlemen. And they don't affect what bracket you're in. So like the earned income tax credit, child tax credit, the American Opportunity Tax Credit. And one of my favorites is when you find out that a credit is refundable, which means even if you don't owe a tax, you still get the money. Cool. I love that. But Mark, isn't it funny how people really don't get the tax code itself? It's actually easy when you see the chart.
Yeah, the visual helps. People hear, oh, I'm in the 32% tax bracket. They just assume that all of their money is being taxed at that bracket, which, as you just said, is not the case.
Right, because if you're married filing jointly, the first almost $400,000 is taxed at less than 32%. Let's say you made $450,000. Only like your $55,000 is taxed at 32%. Oh, by the way, if you want to check out those tax brackets, we have those neat charts that live behind the paywall. You could be a member of Jill on Money Live. All right. Mark, what we're going to do is to help the procrastinators a little bit. We are going to play a segment that I did with CBS Mornings during the week. And your anchors are Nate Burleson, Gayle King, and Vladimir Duthiers. We're talking about last minute tax tips.
So what should you do if you haven't filed your taxes yet?
Maybe cancel your weekend plans, right? And, and I will say that you want to gather up all your documents and you want to fire up your computer. We really want to encourage people to file electronically, not paper, and use direct deposit. If you're due a refund, you'll get it faster. Before you submit, before you hit send, please double check. The IRS sends out this list of the most common errors. Well, you know what we do? We're in a rush. It's the weekend before. I mix up my social security number. I claim the wrong status. I forget to say, oh, no, I'm the head of the household. No, I'm single. I got married, whatever. You claim the wrong status. You don't put down the actual credits and deductions you're entitled to. And you know this one, it always kills me. People forget to sign and date their return, even when they do it electronically. So just do that. Make sure you get that. It's very easy to do, especially if you're a wage earner. I don't think it's going to be like a ruining your weekend.
Or they don't sign on purpose to give more time. I might have known someone that.
Oh my goodness!
Back in the day.
What? So asking for a friend.
Yeah, asking for a friend. If you're going to file for an extension, what do you need to know?
So Form 4868 at irs.gov. And by the way, the IRS website is very good. It's pretty easy easy to navigate. So here's what you need to know about an extension. It's kind of a weird thing because you get an extra 6 months to file. So you get all your documents, you get extra 6 months. However, you don't get an extra 6 months to pay. Oh. So now listen, here's the situation. Let's pretend, now you should be fine. Let's say you're a wage earner, you've withheld your taxes, you probably don't owe any more money. But let's say you had a big financial transaction last year. Maybe you sold a home. Let's say one of you in a couple made a lot more money and you didn't withhold enough money. You've got to send the IRS the money you think you owe before April 15th. That's the way you can reduce or basically alleviate the penalties that could come.
What if you owe the IRS money, but you don't have that money in your bank account? What do you do then?
You're not the first one, Vlad, who's asked me that question. And I will tell you, the IRS has dealt with this. They've got short-term and long-term payment plans. This will stretch those payments out over many months. It's really helpful. The one thing I have to underscore about payment, weirdly, the IRS allows you to pay with a credit card. I hate this. I hate this so much. First of all, it's an expensive way to pay. There are fees associated with credit cards. But let's say you put your tax bill on your credit card. You don't pay your credit card bill off in time. Then you're paying that huge interest on top of the tax bill on that amount. It's not a good idea.
But it's important to let them know, I know I owe you money and I'm going to pay it.
Absolutely. And don't forget, IRA and Roth IRA contributions by April 15th, even if you're on extension.
Okay, Mark. So I like that I could squeeze in at the very end. I just want to make sure people heard this. You actually are under the gun to make an IRA or a Roth IRA contribution by April 15th, even if you did file for an extension. I don't think a lot of people know that. Here's something else I found out. You know all those people who are impacted by federal declared disaster areas? The IRS automatically provides filing and penalty relief to anyone who's got an address of record in those disaster areas. So that's kind of cool, right? You don't have to go in and ask for that. However, if you moved, the IRS may not know. And so you might receive a scary filing notice or a late payment. Just make sure that you stay on top of that. Mark, when you think about the tax world here, what else do people not understand? You know what they don't understand? You want to explain how capital gains works on your house?
If you're lucky enough to sell your house and make a big fat profit on it, if it's your primary residence and you've lived there for, 2 out of the last 5 years?
Yes, exactly.
And you're married, filing jointly, you can exclude up to $500,000 in capital gains. If you're single, $250,000 capital gains.
I mean, that's pretty amazing, I think. I mean, it's incredible. It's a huge deal. So a lot of people made a lot of money in real estate, and maybe they don't even realize that. They think, I don't have to pay any tax that's due. Be careful. Figure that out. Oh, and one other thing. We didn't get to this either. Mark, you the kind of person, this is so funny. You're so not this person, that you would consider moving someplace for tax purposes?
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
You're so not that person.
Are you kidding me? No, that is so not me. No.
Wait a second. I'm going to give you 8 choices. Here's where you can choose from. These are the 8 U.S. states that have no state income tax whatsoever. They also usually have crap schools and services. But let me tell you what they are. Alaska. Do you want to move there?
Keep going.
Florida. Nevada. South Dakota. Tennessee. Texas. Washington State. Wyoming. Those are your 8 that have no state income tax whatsoever. Now, wait a second. There's also something kind of funky with these states. Some of them have incredibly high property taxes. It's weird. Like, they'll tax you one way or the other. Believe me, you're going to pay for something. So, but this is just income, taxing your income. Of those 8, the ninth state, New Hampshire, only taxes interest and dividend income, not payroll. So, of those 9, where would we live? Let's think.
I'll give you my answer.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Washington.
New York City.
Oh, stop it. You have to pick among the 8.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I would live in Washington State.
Nope, not me. New York City for me.
All
Even
right.
though the taxes are awful, that's the price you pay to live here.
You know, this is what Mark and I are like, the big fans of New York City. My mother used to say this. She'd be like, well, it costs money to live in the center of the universe. And it sure does. All right, gang, if you've got a tax question, you scrambling, hurry up, send Mark an email right now. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, get on the air, come join us. We'd love to have you. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. Yes, this is the Money Watch Show, and Mark Talercio is our co-host and executive producer. He's also the king of all things web at Jill on Money. We drop our episodes on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. And, of course, put your hands metaphorically on someone's back. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.